You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Ladies and gents, this is Kevin Kierstead, host of Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap. I hope you're enjoying the show. Truth on Tap is focused on bringing you absolute truth about everything from mainstream media to comedy, from psychology to the paranormal. This show keeps it real, not the fake kind of real, the real kind of real. That same spirit also covers our Caps on Tap show about the Washington Capitals. Caps on Tap shows air only after Capitals wins at this time. Please come like our Facebook page and join the conversation at facebook.com/Truth on Tap show. Truth on Tap has been picked up and promoted by iHeartRadio, the internet audio mega monster, so shows are available there as well as on Spreaker and a limited selection on iTunes. To get in on a show's chat, you can chat from the Facebook page I mentioned or go to www.spreaker.com/user/truth-on-tap and look for the live episode or call in at 910-NOLYING. That's 910-665-9464. Thanks again for checking out Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Opening up the truth pipeline for these bitches. Never in a long
Truth on Tap. Truth.
My right to say how I say it's mine to give. My right, my heart, it's mine to share. My soul's my heart.
Truth on Tap.
Invite to use. Just the wish to use. Chop it up and we combine. Chop it up and we
Truth on Tap.
Genghis featuring Stereo Black Star Super Negro starting the night off. 9 o'clock p.m. on August 21st, 2014. Where are your balls? Courage in 2014. Let me sum it up for you. Let's say you're one of those persons that likes the Cliff's Notes, okay? And you say, look, Kevin, I don't have much time. What's the message? Punch him in the fucking nose. That's the message. Okay, you can use that realistically, literally, or symbolically. But you don't put up with getting bullied. Where are your balls? Who has a right to tell you, I want your lunch money? Who has a right to tell you, you can't walk around here? Who has a right to get on your radio station and yell at you and try to belittle you? You going to take that? I'm not. I don't. You ever find yourself after you've been bullied or something and you look back at the situation and start thinking of 100 things you wish you said? Well, I'm telling you to say that shit up front. Don't wait and look at it in retrospect. If you can't think too well, say something. Let people know you're not going to be their whipping boy. You're going to beat their ass if they want to fuck around. Yeah, I have a slight advantage at being 6'5", 250, but I was a kid once. I still didn't put up with the shit. I still don't. I never will. I don't care if they cut my legs off and I'm 4'0". I'll hobble after your ass swinging. If they cut my arms off, I'll headbutt you. If they cut my head off, I'll do some sort of fucking torso throw at you. I'll bolo my balls or something. Because I know where my balls are. They're right here. And if you fuck around and I don't have arms or legs, I'm going to hit you with a ball bolo. Yeah, that's where my balls are. Upside your head now. Why, pow, pow, pow! You just got smacked with Kevin's balls because you fucked around. Go ahead and fuck around with me. I'll give you guys a real example. I'm going to have to put some shit on video. That's what I need to do. I need to start a video series. Dislex and Valerie done beat me to the chat room on my own show. Is that sad or what? Bastards were already in there before the show started. I don't even know how that's possible. Well done, guys. Yeah, I'm playing French rap. Yeah, because that's perfect for this. French people will jump you even if you just barely offend them. A French rapper, he'll go trick gangster on you. He'll paint up Monet, and then he'll backhand you with the palette. He's not fucking around. He's a French Negro. He's not just a French Negro. He's a French super Negro. Go ahead, Genghis and Black Star. Y'all bitches will use a lot of vowels, but you will kick some people's asses, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I got some studies pulled up we're going to talk about tonight. We'll get into that in a minute. It was hard to find information about courage, and I have a theory of why. You want to talk about that? Yeah, we're in a new world now, folks, but courage shouldn't have gone anywhere.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Smash is in the chat room using vowels and kicking asses. That's right. It's okay to enunciate while kicking ass. Ask Grandpa Lau Kruska. He was a Navy SEAL. That bitch enunciates, but he will snap your neck with his thumb and forefinger. Ka-tink. You're done. Look, he didn't even get his heart rate up. He just said, ka-tink. And he's enunciating. Yeah, nothing wrong with enunciating and whooping ass. You don't have to be big, folks. You have to have a big spirit. Mike Tyson was in an interview recently, and they asked him if he would have had problems against bigger fighters like the Klitschko's. And he said, well, you know, they're strong, they're great boxers, he goes, but it never was about their size. It's about the size of the fighting spirit inside the individual. Don't put up with that shit. You guys have seen the honey badger, haven't you? Look up a YouTube video about the honey badger. That's how I want you to be. When it comes to people stepping into your zone of freedom and saying, I'm about to change your freedom, you say, fuck you, is what you do. Don't put up with that shit, people. I hate to see, that's what bothers me. I was never bullied. As soon as I was bullied, I got right in their face and it was done. They didn't bully me again. It was that easy. Bullies are insecure by default, and that's adult or child. So you just show them, I know your game, bitch, and you're not going to fucking push me around. What bothered me about it was seeing people's freedoms taken away by somebody who was able to use intimidation. Your freedom to walk across a certain area, your freedom to keep your lunch money, your freedom to say the way you feel. Then somebody throws some threats at you, and what do? What does the average American do these days? I'll be quiet. I'll wait for a better day. How much of it is immaturity if I say stand up for yourself? Am I being immature? Would a better person, an ambassador of personalities, be able to talk the situation down and be proud of himself? Maybe my approach is a little bit immature, but let me tell you this, I don't get fucked with. I don't get fucked with. As soon as I do, I just bitch smack him. If I have to use words, I use words. If I have to use my body, I use my body. Just don't fuck with me. That's the whole message. I'm not bothering you, don't bother me. If you get in my face, you're going to pay a price. I wish everybody were that way. It breaks my heart. I'm being honest with you. It bothers me to see people bullied, whether they're kids or adults. And I think to myself, don't they care? So they're just trying to survive. That's good enough for them? That's not good enough for me. I want to survive with my freedom to behave intact. And you can't do that if you're going to lay down for somebody that bullies you. Yeah, you can't. Where's that song I wanted to play by Eno? Copenhagen. Yeah, that's like a Fight Club song. I'm loading that bitch up for after this. Because you got to fight, folks. You got to fight for what you believe in. You got to fight for what you stand for. I'm a very passive person on these issues, but I will fight when I'm fucked with.
To Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
That was Alex's Purple Nurple featuring Go 1D Fish. Now comes Eno's Copenhagen NV. Makes me think of Fight Club. I like it. This is the shit. This is what I hear in my head when somebody fucks with me. This is how it starts. I'm like, oh, here we go. This motherfucker had to stand up. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I hear. I mean, it's not all I hear. It's not all I hear. I hear this too.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, I do. That's what I hear. I hear stuff like that in my head. I hear stuff like this.
I am about to dismantle your ass.
Y'all motherfuckers better recognize right now.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I hear all that. I hear all that. Bitch, you just got a lesson. You fucked with me for no reason. You know, I was always the tall guy when I used to go party out in the bars. Everybody wants to take on the motherfucking tall guy. As soon as a short guy gets drunk, he's coming at you. Oh my God. You know, it was comedic to me because I realized that This was a natural animalistic behavior that was turned on by alcohol, where reason goes out the window. And half the time, I'd let them take a few swings. Usually, I just push them off of me and laugh at them. That pissed them off, but most of them were out of shape, and they'd be out of wind by 30 seconds into it. And I'd just go, "You still want to fight? No, fuck you." And they'd walk away. Yeah. Sorry about that, short guys. I didn't want to make you look bad, but again, you approached me, and because I was tall, that's too bad for you. Because I'm like Manny Pacquiao combined with Vladimir Klitschko, coming at you straight action, but the power too. Yeah, it's scary. It is scary. I feel bad for people that fuck with me. I have an immediate sense of sympathy for them because I know how it's going to end. It's going to end the way it always ends. You're going to let people fuck with you, America? How dare you call yourself the land of the free and the home of the brave if your freedom is being subject to an incursion by a bully who is proving that you're not brave at all? Because you're going to walk away and wait for a better day. Don't walk away. Face them. Stand up to them. Look them in the eyes and tell them in no uncertain terms, you don't want to fuck with me. And make sure you mean it, because they'll know. They'll know. A bully can read. They can read body language. They know when they've met their match, and they will walk away. If they try something, defend yourself. People will love you for it. Win or lose, they will love you for it. That doesn't mean go looking for fights. That means when people get in your face, get back in theirs. If you've been an asshole, you got to think about that. Okay, if I've been an asshole, I actually think about it. I'm like, maybe I deserved somebody fucking with me. If I cut somebody off in traffic and they yell out their window, I don't get mad. I'm like, he's right. I probably would have yelled at me too. But most of the time, I don't fuck up like that, so I don't deserve it. But if you deserve it, that's one area I would consider and say maybe you ought to just go ahead and take your verbal beating there. If you did something fucked up, and take your verbal beating and let it go. But if someone's coming at you out of nowhere for nothing, oh snap, son, you got to get honey badger on them. Yeah, let the rattlesnake bite you. You'll wake up. Honey badger woke up after the snake bit him. You remember that? Yeah, he went to sleep for a little while. His pulse probably lowered. His respiratory process was probably in distress. But God damn it, man, he came back. He came back and was badder than he was before the fight. That's what a honey badger does. He don't fuck around. And he's small. Small. You're small. Until you get big. Yeah. I think we'll take a break from the music after this. Just do some talking here. See what's going on in chat.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Yeah. The bully has to be dealt with force, because that's what the bully understands. Now, I've got some sites up here, and people having, some opinions, and these are people that have, they have a background, they have training, they have an education, and so you have to listen to them if you want to be smart. If you want to be smart, as you guys know that listen to this show routinely, I model my thinking after the best thinkers we've ever produced, as judged by history. Socrates wasn't just a guy. He was important enough to be remembered and celebrated 2,500 years after his death. Okay? People that have lasted that long as far as popularity and fame goes. It's because they did something special. They did something special. And the ones that did something special in academia and thinking and logic and reasoning, and in life skills, you have to give them some props. And the way I look at it is, I admire all of them. All of the big names, even the ones I totally disagreed with. I hardly agree with anything that Kant said, but I love him as a philosopher. You got to model yourself after those people. If you want to, what, do you have a better idea? If you have a better idea, I want to hear it. If you think that maybe modeling yourself after the world's greatest thinkers and America's greatest thinkers over the course of history is not a good idea, or there's a better idea on how to become a respected person academically, at least regarding academia, not necessarily common sense. Common sense is a myth, first of all. Common sense once told people the world was flat, once told people Earth was not only the center of the solar system, but the center of the universe. Common sense should be defined as, in my view, a belief that is commonly held mostly due to the absence of evidence against it rather than the presence of evidence for it. That's the way I word it. Now, that's a little bit too simple because it is a complex issue when you get into common sense, street smarts, that kind of thing. Reading body language, understanding, being situationally aware. These things all matter, yes. But common sense is misunderstood because all common sense is, you think of it as something where a person is smart about general things. That's your thinking. Common sense is when you're smart. But I don't see it that way. I see common sense as simply commonly held beliefs. Some of them don't have a whole lot of data in support, or those data are weak. Some of them do. There's nothing wrong with jumping on the bandwagon if the issue has evidence. But don't just jump in on what people are calling common sense and assume it's all correct. You got to ask questions. Kim is in the chat room. Kim Ashbury Moxley says, forge your own path. Common sense is not so common anymore. I think common sense is almost a myth. It's very evasive. It changes daily. Things we thought were common sense 100 years ago are actually false today. False. Things we thought were common sense 1,000, 2,000 years ago, ridiculous. But they were common sense then. If you didn't know them, you were dumb. Think about that. So what I'm telling you is don't know anything. Socrates would tell you, don't know anything. Keep a question mark next to every fact you have in your head. Always. Always be open to new data. I'm being a little loud tonight. I don't know why. I think I get fired up on this topic. I don't do this topic often. And so who cares what I think? Let's get into what the experts think. Here's a couple quotes that we'll launch with this, launch off with. Here you go, Steve Jobs. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life, as Kim just said. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. I can mostly agree with that. It does take courage to follow your heart and intuition, but I can also guarantee you that if you do that, as hard as it may be, you're going to be thankful. The old person, the old version of you, in 30, 50, 70 years on that deathbed, if you could talk to them right now, what would they say to you about the way you're living? What would they say to you about what you need to change? One of the things would be live courageously. That doesn't mean to be a pompous ass. That doesn't mean to be the Floyd Mayweather Jr. of boxing. What it means is follow your heart, do what you know is right, and when you see somebody doing wrong, have the balls to say something, especially if they're doing it to you or someone you care about. Muhammad Ali said, he who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. Another truth. Kind of well known, though. It's not like he was a major philosopher. Nelson Mandela said, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. All right, that's why some of my biggest heroes in life were the guys that stormed the beach in Normandy, June 6, 1944. Balls were needed that day. Now, some failed, some broke. They were scared. And don't try to say, this is what pisses me off. Everybody's got all the solutions in hindsight, don't you? You know everything everybody did wrong and what you would have done. They didn't have that training. They didn't have that experience. They had never faced bullets and mortars and 88 shells and goddamn landmines going off, flying past your face. Yeah, that one was meant for you, but it missed. Okay, now march up the beach. We've got about 50,000 more we're going to shoot at you. Please, march up the beach. If you manage to make it up, and you manage not to step on a landmine, and you manage not to get chopped in half by the crossfire from the MG-44s, then we'll start talking about your courage. Imagine it. You're there. The bullets are flying. Guys beside you have heads that are exploding. But you got to go up the beach. Imagine it. Balls. That was pure balls. But it was for a good cause. If that same situation had risen its ugly head in Vietnam, just like that, I don't know what the results would have been. I think half the people might have punked out because they wouldn't have believed in the cause. Our Vietnam vets are just as brave as World War II soldiers, but they have to believe in their cause, and then fear is immediately reduced, or the ability to overcome it is increased, however you want to measure it. T.S. Eliot said, only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Good point. Aristotle, you will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. I almost agree with that. I would put honor first, creativity and imagination second, and courage third. Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction, said John F. Kennedy. It's true. It's true. You can't just live courageously without thinking. J.K. Rowling said it takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. That's a good point. There's a lot of other quotes here about courage, and reading every single one of them would not hurt you if your goal is to understand courage and the necessity for it. Therefore, I will share that little quote page, which is Brainy Quote, and I will share it on the announcement on the Facebook page for the episode you're listening to right now. The Facebook page is facebook.com/TruthOnTapShow. Don't forget the show. TOTS is an easy way to remember it. I'm sharing that link now. I've got a couple shows I need to share with you tonight, so I'll probably post those links there. And with that, I'm going to close the quotes page because we've got bigger and better things to go on to. I've got an article up from, believe it or not, the Christian Science Monitor. You guys know I'm agnostic, but I have already checked this, and they're not shoving an invisible dude down your throat. They're talking about, the title of it by Walter Rogers is America Still the Home of the Brave? I question it, and I think he's got some good points here. Another page I have up is from DoSomething.org called How to Handle a Bully. I'm not just going to talk to you about the quick points they list there, but I'm going to talk to you about what really bothers me about some of the comments in this article. So you can, if you want to Google that and follow along, it's How to Handle a Bully on DoSomething.org. I've also got up here from something called YourDictionary.com, examples of courage. I'm going to read some of them to you, and we're going to talk about some of them seem pretty lame to me. I don't even see them as courage. I think it's just normal behavior. And one of my most respected sources is Psychology Today, and they've got an article up here called The Truth About Bullies and How to Deal with Them. And the reason we're talking a lot about bullies is because there's no better test of courage. This show's about courage, not bullies. But there's no better test of courage than when you get directly bullied, especially when you're not expecting it. And then last but not least, I've got an article up here also from Psychology Today, from the same author, Preston Nee, who is an MSBA, titled, Are You Too Nice? 7 Ways to Gain Appreciation and Respect. So we're going to address some of you guys that like to lay low and blend in with the woodwork. There are very few times where I will advise that when you've been directly challenged. It's just not going to serve you well. It's going to say, yes, you can fuck with me. Please do if it makes you feel good. Don't let anybody hear that message in their heads. We'll take some calls later. You can call me at 910-NO-LYING. That's 910-665-9464. Not taking calls yet, so please don't call in. You can Skype me at mr.kevin.kierstead. K-I-E-R, stead as in steady. My dad's name is not Tom, but my mama's name's Betty. And that is true. Stabby, what's up? Welcome to the chat room. Let's see who else is in here. Valerie, Kim, we talked. Kim's going to talk about some courage tonight. Stabby says, not if your beliefs are unjustified, unsubstantiated, or unfalsifiable. He's coming in with the 5-syllable words there. Actually, I think that's 6. Belief is just holding a statement to be true. It says nothing about its validity. Your beliefs should be the first ones you question. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when I say stand up for what you believe in, folks, I'm talking about principles. Your facts are always subject to be disproven. I would never put too much faith in a, quote, fact, unquote. They're disproven daily. It's just something you need to keep in mind. But when it comes to you live in a free country, you were born in a free country, you want to be free, and someone's coming in to impose themselves upon your freedom without good cause, what are you going to do? Where are your balls? We live in a world now, in America, it is the world. I mean, people are turning to technology for their defense. So we're talking about high-powered handguns and whatnot. If somebody walks up to you and says, I don't think you ought to be on my side of the street, what do you do? What do you do? I know what I do. I don't have any question about it. I react immediately. But what do? You say, okay, the street's not important to me. This person may be on crack, might have a 45 in his jacket. I'm going to pass over to the other side of the street. Is that what you do? It's not what I do. I ask questions. I say, I'm sorry, were you shooting a movie or something? What's going on? I'm very reasonable up front. No, I just don't think you should be on my side of the street. And then what I do is I look them deep in the eyes and I say, I don't give a fuck what you think. Move out of my way. That's what I do. In maybe 2 situations in life where I've shown that courage, has somebody fought back. Most of the time, they fucking move. They wait for the next one. They wait for the weak one. That's the one they're going to enjoy. Because if I don't say something to this asshole, what's the next person going to do? And the person after that? Are you okay with it? Just let them keep doing their thing? Let them keep scaring people across the street, showing that they're the powerful person that they think they are? No, I don't think you do that. That's my opinion, and any law enforcement officer will tell you, cross the goddamn street, don't start nothing. But that's not the way I operate. And I can sleep at night as a result of that. I don't sit there thinking, what should I have done? I mean, see, it would be different if it didn't piss me off. It pisses me off that this person thought he could come into my world and begin to fuck around with my freedom for no reason. If he was shooting a movie and he said that, I'd say, you know what, you need to learn some fucking rules, but I'm going to respect your movie set and I'm going to cross the street. But you don't ask me like that. You ask me like a gentleman. And then something could have still come out of it if you would have gotten smart. There's a way to deal with people and there's a way not to deal with people. And then there's a bunch of gray area ways in between. And you have to decide if you're okay with getting pushed around. Because once you decide you're never going to find happiness. I guarantee it. You'll never find happiness if you're okay with being pushed around. You can't. You don't have freedom. You're living within the confines of other people's rules when you allow yourself to be pushed around. Insist upon freedom. So let's see where we're going to go first here. Which one do I want to do first? I really do like this article by the Christian Science Monitor, so we're going to go with that first. It is called, Is America Still the Home of the Brave? And I'm just going to touch on a few things that he says here. He says about the 3rd, 4th paragraph then, collectively we seem to have become a people addicted to fear, whether it's about our economy, our children on the way to school, or the weather. And he's talking about when Hurricane Irene came and everybody was glued to the Weather Channel and they were all planning their escape. Being prepared is one thing, he says. My wife and I lost power for 2.5 days and we tied down docks and boats to prepare. But the incessant hand-wringing of residents, the breathless news reports and their dire predictions, and the overreaction of some officials to close New York City subways, for example, before a drop of rain fell, generated a hurricane of fear. Yes, I know, Hurricane Katrina, but still, Hurricane Katrina's on the opposite end. That's where you don't take shit seriously enough. But you still don't have to let your fear dictate your behavior here. And this is his whole point in this article. We'll get into it. This is not the Depression or the Dust Bowl. He says, today is nothing like the Great Depression when unemployment reached 25%. The Dust Bowl of the 1930s displaced hundreds of thousands of people from the Plains states, Plains. During those years, many American men, some of them my friends, literally lived in boxcars and hobo camps. Many of them eventually went off to have fine careers, and that can happen to today's jobless. Even now, certain careers need workers, including healthcare, manufacturing, engineering, trucking, business analysis, and not surprising, helping businesses optimize the reach of their websites. America's fears are nothing if not fluid. 2 years ago, the angst was over a threatened U.S. swine flu pandemic that never materialized. 10 years ago, after 9/11, people worried most about Muslim terrorists in their midst. That was a natural fear, I will say, after 9/11. You didn't know who is the enemy. You remember, we rounded up the Japanese and put them in internment camps after Pearl Harbor. This is a natural human reaction. Wait a minute, who have we let in here? But the mature mind in an American society says, hold on, these people are citizens. They have freedom. Now, if we want to take a look at them because we've turned up some intelligence that shows they have connection with terrorists, I'm for that. But you don't go like the guy in Texas did and shoot the fucking Muslim. Say, you want to attack my country, I'm attacking you. That's not what you do. That's not what you do. You know better than that. It's undeniable, he says, that the attacks on New York and Washington created a huge sense of vulnerability, but in retrospect, it was ludicrous for a nation of nearly 300 million with the world's largest economy and unrivaled armed forces to have cowered in fear of a band of tatterdemalions living in caves. Well, that's a really big word to say, pussies. But Americans' great angst antedated 9/11 and its politicians who created airport absurdities like Code Yellow, Code Orange, Code Red, needlessly fanning public fears that justified their own jobs. That shit we can't do. You know, it's ridiculous that we did that. And we did live in fear. You know we did. If you were around on 9/11, you know the world changed that day. That's not cool with me. I was angry. I think I had a natural reaction to, first thing I did was call my Air Force recruiter, and I swear to God this is true. And I said, do you need me back? I have job skills. I've been trained. I have security clearance. I'm ready to go. And a lot of people did. A lot of ex-military did call back in and see if they were needed at all. I would have gone on a rowboat over there to Afghanistan with a few friends to whoop some ass. You can't kill innocent civilians in my country and then have me be okay with it. If they had struck military targets, I wouldn't have forgiven them, but I would have seen them as more honorable. They weren't honorable at all, but I would have seen them as closer to honorable. Surprise attacks, because you feel like your people have been wronged by the big bully America, and we were bullies for some period of time, and I regret that, and we can't do that again. We need to respect other countries and their sovereignty. But what they did, attacking innocent civilians, absolutely inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. And that's why we've been dropping the bomb on them for 15 years since. 14, 13, something like that. 13 years. Yeah, well, I mean, they're feeling it, aren't they? They're feeling it every damn day. If you're going to attack America, if you're going to wake up the big sleeping dog, get ready for the bite. Be ready to feel that bite in your ass. And I appreciate that about America. We do act when it's time to act. He talks a little bit more about, and we'll get back to the chat in a minute, guys, just hang in there, overblown fear about the Soviets. You remember that? You remember the Cold War? Well, I was born at the kind of ass end of that, but I felt it. I felt it in the Miracle on Ice, the 1980 hockey game in New York against the Soviets. I felt it. You wouldn't believe the way we celebrated when we beat the Russians 4-3. That had nothing to do with hockey. Nothing to do with hockey. It was about us beating the big, bad, red monster called the Soviet Union. And the media, that's when they learned we need to prey upon people's fears because it sells papers and it sells broadcasts. That's when it started, I think. Right around the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis. I think that's when the media realized we got to create shit if there's nothing going on because people will tune in. And that's not all the media. There are plenty of honorable organizations out there that just report the news. But more and more now, you see a case like what's going on in Missouri, and immediately the speculation starts. Used to be that news agencies waited for the facts. No, they're speculating right off the bat now. So they're talking about the Soviets. He said, now as then, there was a profit in scaring the American people senseless. During the Cold War, the Pentagon and defense contractors profited from pumping up the Soviet threat. More recently, after 9/11, a huge domestic security industry has burgeoned in airports and public buildings. Cable networks like the Weather Channel and the television networks, not least among them Rupert Murdoch's Fox News, rake in millions of dollars in advertising revenues by frequently frightening their audiences. Let me stop here. This person writing for the Christian Science Monitor has earned my respect, because you will not often see a Christian attack Fox News. This is a person who said, I still have my religion. I'm a Christian. I believe in Christ. But I'm not going to just buy into everything that a right-wing propaganda machine throws at me. I'm going to fact-check it. And he did. And Rupert Murdoch has always served the far right. He's always served big business at any cost to the middle class. And a lot of times, sometimes they have facts. A lot of times they are not using facts. They're trying to inflame. They want to incite. They found what their audience is hungry for. It's not their fault. It's terrible that they're doing it, but they wouldn't do it if there wasn't a hunger for it. People want to hate. Yeah. Americans already have shining examples of leadership and courage. You know, he mentioned Steve Jobs. Ted Turner used to say, lead, follow, or get out of the way. That's a courageous thing. Here's a simple test for all Americans, he says, from individuals to political leaders. Pause and ask yourself this. Am I acting out of wisdom and knowledge, or am I letting fear dictate my decisions? Risk-taking is indispensable to capitalism. There is nothing wrong with adventure within the limits of the law. Economies seize up when people shrink from risk, and that's true. Thomas Carlyle said, the first duty of man is to conquer fear. He must get rid of it. He cannot act until then. This was a 19th century Scottish writer. And anybody coming from a country that produced William Wallace has got my ear. Did you guys know Scotland's thinking about doing the independence thing again? They got a vote coming up in September. Yeah. Shit never ends, does it? Of late, our national obsession with comfort and security risks becoming a national failing. I'm sorry, let me read that again. Of late, he says, our national obsession with comfort and security risks becoming a national failing. Well, that's not a proper sentence, but okay. Barbarians have ever been at the gates of civilization. What we most need now is again to be reminded that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, coupled with a healthy dose of what Ralph Waldo Emerson called self-reliance. And you'll have to look that up because I'm not going to define it for you. And I will also share that article so you can read it and comment on your own. I'm going to close it out now, but I am going to share the link on the Truth on Tap page, Facebook page. Then we'll get into what you guys are saying in chat. Then we'll take a break. Then we'll come back for the second half of this show to discover where your balls are. Courage in 2014. I'm not so much concerned with worldwide courage. I'm very much a nationalist in my beliefs. I'm an America guy. And I see we have a lot of flaws, folks. We really do. But I don't sit here and pick at the flaws. What I do is try to help people get informed. Just get informed. Be smart. And you're going to have my respect, no matter what your political beliefs turn out to be. So let's see. Andrew's in the chat, and he didn't come in at the end this time. That's very unusual. Very unusual. Kim says, poor people today don't know what poor is. My mother grew up as a child of biracial parents who worked sharecropping. Their house was a slat house. During the winter, she could see the stars through the boards of the roof and wake in the a.m. with snow on their blankets. Yeah. People don't appreciate what they have until they don't have it. Welcome to the chat, Andrew. Glad you made it. Facts are a dime a dozen. That's true, Stabby, but people continue to ignore them if they don't support their beliefs. Why do people do that? Stop having beliefs that you seek to arm up for so that if anybody challenges them, you can defeat them, and seek the truth. Even if your beliefs don't match up with it. Find the truth. That's all I want. I don't care if that leads me to be right-wing or left-wing. I just want to know what's real. I don't know why people are okay with saying, you know what? I like that Bill O'Reilly guy. Therefore, I'm going to hate everybody on the left. And I'm going to ditto head him. I'm going to say everything he says just like he said it. Rush Limbaugh fans, you're the worst for this. I'm not saying all of you. I'm saying that when it comes to ditto heads, you know, I went to work for a place in Northern Virginia, and this just jumped out the top of my head here. I go into the bathroom, and etched into the fucking chrome of the urinal is Rush is right. Quote, Rush is right, exclamation point, unquote. Everything he says is right? Are you sure? Have you fact-checked some of the stuff he says? Or do you just like the tone in which he says it? Do you like the verbal slang he dishes out to anybody center or left? Is that more what you like? And how, in my view, politically, and this is just my little opinion, I don't understand how women or minorities can be on the right. The right has never served women and minorities. It has always served old white men. And you're saying, Kevin, that's an awful vague thing. Well, it is vague, but it's also true. And I see a lot of support for that. I happen to like the right when it comes to their fiscal policy. I think they make a lot of sense when it comes to the deficit and the budgets and things like that. But when it comes to social policy, I go way back to the left. You know, it's very hard. But in this, and I have voted on both sides of the ticket. Yes, I have, Republican and Democrat. I've never voted for independent yet because, to me, that's a wasted vote. Unless I see a groundswell of serious support for an independent candidate and think that he could possibly win. What he's usually doing is stealing votes, inadvertently or not, from another candidate who he's closer to on ideology. Stabby says people don't want to be informed. They want to hold on to their comfortable, cherished beliefs. And that's true, and that's sad. I want to talk to RD, who's not in the chat right now. Andrew, what country are you from? I don't remember. And I would like to talk about the way things operate there regarding facts versus the comfort of beliefs. I mean, how many people are accurate with what they are saying about the world's affairs and news? Curious about that. Yeah, damn Ralph Nader. Vote thief. He's a vote thief. And so was Ross Perot, and so was, we have so many independents that ran Green Party. You know, you can't blame them for trying. I think sometimes that's ego. I think sometimes it's people saying, look, America wants a change. They're not going to get it on the right or the left. Let's go fucking south. Oh, let's go southeast to the north and back west. Do something no one's done before. And that can win. That can win, but typically they get 3 or 4% tops of the popular vote. So what I'm going to do for you is line up a couple of songs. I wanted to download some new songs tonight that applied to this, that had something to do with bravery and courage, but I didn't have time. You know, I spent 2 hours getting ready, spilled my fucking coffee. Let me tell you about this. So my studio is a back porch, and it's fairly well insulated. It's a decent studio. And I have this wicker table, and this wicker table is not only uneven on its surface, but it's also dipping down in the middle. So when I put my tall, top-heavy mug of coffee on it, there's a threat right there already. It's got the lean on saying, go ahead, move, I dare you. So twice in the last 2 days, I lost my whole mug of coffee and spilled it on all kinds of shit and had to clean it. So I go outside and I said, this is enough, I can't deal with this anymore, and I find some particle board. And I've broken that up to make a covering for this table. And this lifts my mood, you know, and we're going to talk a little bit when we come back about little things you can do to make your day better and little things you can do to increase your confidence, since that applies directly to courage. Little things to make yourself feel better, make yourself stand a little taller. We'll talk about that when we come back. Slanted Voices, do I like that song? Let me listen. Yeah, this is an interesting song. Morgan TJ, Slanted Voices. We're going to line that up. And then after that, well, since we're this will apply. It's Alex, Good Day, which is kind of like a feel-good song, sort of. And then Kim's favorite, which is Lotag Blanco, Slumlord. We'll line that up. I'll probably be back by then, but I'll probably let that one play because I know she loves it. And I think you guys will like it too if you haven't heard it. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do that right now. That is that, and here goes this.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Do you think you know just who you are, driving around chasing money in a man-made car? Do you ever think about it? Don't you think it's bizarre? You're in the Milky Way, floating around in the stars. It's like who, what, when, where, why am I? And all this time we've been just a speck in the sky. It's like a cosmic joke that can make you laugh. Your whole existence is the sum of the cosmic math. Well, if you woke up this morning, then it's a good day. If you woke up healthy, it's a good day. If you woke up refreshed, then it's a good day. So get up, get out, get on your way. If you woke up broke, it's still a good day. If you woke up diseased, it's still a good day. If you woke up exhausted, still a good day, because you woke up, so get on your way. Now if you have some today, then give some away, cause what you give will come back on another day. Not in the same form, and just so you know, what you reap is what you will eventually sow. Like if you rise to the top, you have to come back down to find your feet firmly planted back on the ground. And if you live by the gun, you might die by one, because it only takes one shot to blot out the sun. Now if you woke up this morning, it's a good day. If you woke up healthy, it's a good day. If you woke up refreshed, then it's a good day. So get up, get out, get on your way. If you woke up broke, it's still a good day. And if you woke up diseased, it's still a good day. And if you woke up exhausted, still a good day, because you woke up, so get on your way. Now when the lights go out for good, how will you turn them back on? Did you create yourself in a physical form? Did you breathe the breath of life into your lungs and make your heart beat since before you were one? Did you take 2 cells and make them 4, then turn 4 into 8 and make 8 million more? Did you realize one day that you were alive and forget that one day you would eventually die? Well, if you woke up this morning, then it's a good day. And if you woke up healthy, then it's a good day. If you woke up refreshed, then it's a good day. So get up, get out, get on your way. If you woke up broke, it's still a good day. And if you woke up diseased, it's still a good day. And if you woke up exhausted, still a good day, because you woke up. Now get on your way.
to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead. You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Whoop, there it is. 8/21/2014, almost 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We're talking about your balls. Yeah, we are. Courage in 2014. I asked before I left. I wanted to hear what Andrew thought about Australians' courage and more about their. Are they well tuned in? That's something that. See, I see the average European and Australian, I can put them both in this category, as smarter than the average American. It didn't used to be that way in my view, but something has happened. Something has changed, and they seem very well versed in general social issues that if you ask the average American about, what? I don't know what's happening there. Maybe my observation is incorrect, but that's what I'm seeing. And I wish it weren't true. I admire these guys. I wish that our citizenry seemed as informed as them. This David Icke stuff, I did a conspiracy show, I don't know, last night or the night before. And I think we need to watch that shit because they're misleading large groups of people, and conspiracies are killing us now, literally. You get into things like the MMR autism thing, they're killing us. We are losing far more people due to not getting vaccinations than we would have lost from a non-existent death sentence from a shot. You know, they've done the research, folks. You just have to go to the reputable places for it. Big Pharma's not out to get you. They are out to make money, but they're not out to get you. More porn, less fear, please. Okay, I'll see what we can do about porn. Not really my forte. Second half of the show, we are going to open it up a little bit, but I didn't finish talking about what I wanted to talk about. And so that's got to happen. And that is coming. I think I want to mention as I promised you in the beginning of the show, DoSomething.org's quick tips on how to handle a bully, and what I agree with and what I don't agree with. Typical everyday examples of courage. We need to list a few of those and see if you agree with those. And then finally, the 2 articles by Psychology Today, The Truth About Bullies and How to Deal with Them, and Are You Too Nice? 7 Ways to Gain Appreciation and Respect. We won't spend a lot of time on this. I'll go through these fast, and I'll just share the links to them. Yeah, that's what's up. Where are your balls? We're going to find your balls tonight. I don't care if they're microscopic. I don't care if you've had them removed and placed on your left scapula. We're going to find them, and we're going to ask you to use them. At least in America. I got to try to get my fellow Americans pumped up, fired up. Be the home of the brave. Be the home of the brave. Don't be the home of the pussy. We can't have that. And I'm not saying Americans are pussies. We're still, we've always carried a pretty badass reputation, but it's slipping. It is slipping. And I can hear social psychologists saying right now, Kevin, are you encouraging violence? No, I'm not. Well, the mature thing to do is to encourage people to get along. Yes, it is. But what do, social psychologists, when somebody fucks with somebody? Well, you wait, you walk away, you turn the other cheek, do you? Because what are you doing to your kids when you do that? You've just encouraged somebody who will then spread his brand of fucking with people around, and they're going to fuck with everybody. And your kids are going to live in a bossed world. Is that what you want? Stand up, people. If somebody is unjustifiably coming at you and trimming off any part of your freedom, stand up. That includes cops, by the way. You people that don't know, at least in America, there's only one thing you got to do when you're approached by a police officer. If you're in your car, they're allowed to ask for their license, registration, proof of insurance. You don't have to tell them anything. And you don't have to submit to searches and seizures. You tell them right up front, I do not consent to any search. And then all you have to say, you don't even have to say this, but the best way to figure out what you can do is say, am I being detained or am I free to go? Because they're going to start hitting you with questions. What do you do in this part of town? Am I detained or am I free to go? You don't have to answer their bullshit questions. That encourages them. The laws are there for a reason, and they don't want to follow them for a reason. There are good cops out there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that too many people just lay down for the law. I shared a video on What Would You Do about this guy with a badge asking people to do shit, and they were all doing it. You remember the girl in the McDonald's? Somebody called the McDonald's claiming to be a police officer and had them strip search the girl, saying she had stolen a purse or something. Then later in the call, once they got complicity, they had them spank the girl, and then they had her do sexual acts. There's your porn. There's your porn. All that done from somebody calling over a phone pretending to be a police officer. And you think we're not weak in the face of authority? Stand up, people. Grab your balls. Nobody is allowed to give you a strip search. You're allowed to be strip searched when you go to a state or federal prison and you're being put in. And no other situation is it legal without your full consent for anybody to strip search you. Sad. See, this is an example of someone not being educated on what's legal and what isn't, and just giving blind obedience to authority. Look up some Stanley Milgram shit. I'm not telling you to go be a rebel all the time. Just don't do whatever somebody with a badge says. First of all, ask for their badge number. Ask them for their qualifications, how long they've been on the force. Just say, there's a lot of people out here faking being cops. How do I know you're a police officer? Make them talk a little bit, because the person who's impersonating an officer is not going to be comfortable with that talk. What they're going to see it at as a bare minimum is a waste of time to do what they came to do. So don't be afraid to ask questions yourself. You want to ask me questions, cop? I got some questions for you. You know, we had some murders over here on the Colonial Parkway in Yorktown, Williamsburg, in Virginia, and there is a belief that someone may have been impersonating a police officer. Now, I don't know if that belief is still holding water. It was mostly rumor, but it would have made sense because there were no signs of struggle. People were murdered and there was no sign of struggle, so it would make sense that maybe it was somebody who appeared to be a federal park ranger or otherwise police officer who pulled him over and made him walk over to the side. As soon as a cop tells you to get out and walk somewhere that's not to his car, you're done. You got to get out of there. You have a problem then, a serious problem. Just take off. If they've got a gun and you don't want to fight them like I do, take off. I'll ram their fucking nose into their skull. I'll ask questions later. If it turns out it was a legitimate cop, well, I'll have to pay that price, and I'll say in court, he had me walking over to a beach and I believed he was impersonating an officer and was about to kill me. Therefore, I feared for my life. Thank you, self-defense laws. I win, and I'm taking a walk. That's all. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat room. I know we haven't done enough porn to make Andrew happy. Fear porn. The prime example of someone who sees connections where none really exist. That's pareidolia. Stabby's been hooked on that lately. Let's see. Run to the hills, run for your life parkway. I drove until the waterfront one night being pulled over. I don't blame you. Yeah, you can keep driving. If you're being pulled over, just hold your hand out the window and point forward to say, I'm going to a more populated area. Yeah, the cop will just shoot you now, especially if you're black. You know, they're just fucking pop, pop, pop. I'm trying to catch up with you guys in the chat room. I see the vaccination thing is still a hot button topic. All I suggest is making sure that your data is coming from reliable sources and not the David Ikes of the world. He's not a reliable source. You know he believes the moon is fake, right? I'm just saying, right there, once I learned something like that about you, it would take a shitload of evidence to convince me that you're a reputable source of information. Once you tell me the moon's fake, I have a serious issue with your credibility at that point. Yeah. Trying to catch up here. Gray aliens to demonic possession to astral projection. People like to buy into the stuff because they want answers to put in their fear holes, and that's what it does. They don't care if the answers are accurate. That drives me nuts. I think it's time we started making people pay verbally for coming out with this shit. You know, if you're a caller on a radio show or a TV show and somebody says so-and-so, say, well, I'm just curious, what is your evidence from that? From where did you draw it? Use your Socratic method. Ask the simple questions. You're not being rude. You just, you can make it look very supportive, like, listen, I want to study this too. Where did you get your information? And you're going to find probably 7 times out of 10 that either they cannot cite their source for the information or they have cited a weak source. Or a lot of the times you'll get this, I'll get back to you later. And I have to use that sometimes. I don't always have my sources in front of me. I'll get back to you later, but I do get back to you if I've got a source for something. Don't just believe what you're told because Bill O'Reilly says it or Keith Olbermann says it or Rachel Maddow says it or any of them other bastards, especially a Glenn Beck or an Alex Jones, because these guys are now selling survival kits and related items. Think about that. Once you put motive in there, you can't trust it. You can't trust it. I encourage you, if you're an Alex Jones fan, and they hate me because I've been all over his page calling him out on shit. They hate me. If you're an Alex Jones fan and you want to believe him, there's not much I or logic can do for you. But I'll ask you to take 5 and make sure they're random, literally random points that he's made over the past 5 years or so, and go fact check the hell out of those things, okay? See how close he was to right, or how far he was from right. See what his sources are. A lot of times I'll hear an Alex Jones say, well, according to my source. Fuck your source, Alex Jones. Give me your source. I need to check on him. Every major good reporter in the world lists their sources and lets the reader / viewer / listener check that source for themselves so that they can ascribe a certain value to that source. Not according to my sources. Reptiles are now in the Obama administration. Show me the proof. Show me the proof. You don't have it because it's not true. But it sure does make for a good story. That it does. The problem is people start believing that shit. That's where the problem starts. You can't blame them. As a fan of capitalism, hey Barco, I have to say, go Alex Jones. He's like Don King. He figured it out. He figured out how to make money, big money. Good for him. For that reason, I give him a pat on the back. He has figured out the capitalist mechanism and is using it to his advantage and his family's. Good for Alex Jones. The weakness is not Alex Jones. Whether he believes the shit he's saying or not, he's just making money, right? It's the people that believe that shit without checking it. That's the problem. Because they'll believe whatever I tell them too. And I tell people all the time on the show, don't believe me. Fact check my shit. And I found out, I thought I was a unique radio host up until about last week. I heard a couple shows, actually from New Zealand. And I heard a guy who sounded almost just like me. He likes to promote other hosts on his show. He insists on getting views from all angles, even if they disagree with his beliefs. Just a really nice guy and a really fair guy. And I'm like, I'm not so special after all. There are others like me out there. But maybe there aren't that many that are as spirited as I am about seeing fairness and making sure that all sides of an argument can be heard. Not trying to trim shit out, to shape your opinion. And I tell you, don't believe in anything I say. Look that shit up. I want you to be informed on the facts, not fiction, on the facts. Trust your resources. Understand why you trust them and why you don't trust some. Don't just listen to me. Yeah, I jump on Alex Jones all the time. For all you know, if you've never listened to Alex Jones, he's a perfectly reputable source of information. That's something you have to look into. David Icke is fucking lunar. David Icke, to me, is a European Glenn Beck with a little extra whipped cream on top. Yeah. I mean, that motherfucker is beyond lunar. He's suborbitable. He's gone. He's gone. And he's not coming home. He's not coming home. You wave to him and you say, hey, David Icke, man, I hope aliens find you. As far out as you are, they're going to find you. Because you've left the solar system. We salute you, man. We salute you. We know we're not going to see you here on Earth again. Go for humankind. But the problem is if the aliens find him and think that's us, shit. They'll just laser our asses. Get rid of them. They're going to hurt the universe. Fucking eliminate the humans. It's not that these people bother me. I don't like that they're misleading large groups of people, but my true problem is with the weak followers that follow them. That comes down to courage as well. Are you willing to stand up for someone you like? Think of a show host you like. Who is it? Rachel Maddow? Bill O'Reilly? Find a show host you really like and then fact check them. And if you're mature and you're smart, you're going to find some errors in what they've said. Are you willing to stand up and tell people, hey, my hero's Bill O'Reilly, but you know what? He was wrong about this, and that. Are you willing to? Because that is the ultimate sign of intelligence and maturity right there. Take your favorite person, your favorite host, and find problems with some of the stuff they say. Anything that stands outside the truth, I'm going to talk about it. Who makes fun of you when you talk about science, Stabby? RD? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. RD is one of my favorite fans, man. But if he believes in that stuff, I can't support it. I've seen no evidence to suggest that any of that crazy shit is true. UFOs, that's a real deal. I've got astronauts and test pilots talking about UFOs. I've got FAA officials talking about UFOs. They've got the proof that some UFO, I don't care if it was a flying fucking walnut, which the one in Alaska actually resembled, although it was the size of 2 aircraft carriers when Japanese Airlines came through. That shit is corroborated by not only air traffic control, not only the FAA, not only the pilots, but also the military bases and their radar control centers in the area. And you're going to tell me it didn't happen? I have a problem with you now. Unless you can prove that these guys were all in on a conspiracy and you've got evidence for it. So, common sense isn't the right word. Just think. Think, and you're going to get there. Think. Ask questions even if you think you already know something. Barco says, evidence item number 1, KAK show is the shit. RD likes it. Well, yeah, that doesn't say much for me, right? Because if he loves a David Icke and he loves me, you might be tempted to group me in with a David Icke, and we are nothing like that. You can pick apart my show. I want you to, man. And if I make mistakes, I want you to come put it on the Facebook page, and I will talk about it the next episode. I don't mind being incorrect. I rather appreciate being corrected, because then my audience can start to get confidence that even if Kevin fucks up, he's going to bring the facts the next show. He's going to correct what he said wrong. And I don't always fact check my stuff. A lot of this is coming from my spirit. So you will find flaws in what I say. I guarantee it. And when you do, when you present your evidence, I'll agree with you if you've got evidence. Alex Jones sells people what they want. The most popular talk show host in America, and worldwide really, are selling people what they want. I talked the other show about George Norrie. George Norrie, I liked him. I genuinely liked that guy. He was poking around the UFO topic. I didn't realize that he was into all the other major conspiracies, and that tells me that he's made a decision. And his decision is to walk away from the data and the evidence and walk into the paycheck, because people love hearing about chemtrails and genetically modified food and how it's killing you, and fluoride in the water and how that's killing you, and reptiles in the government. All of these things are the one world government. We are moving toward a one world government, folks, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just a world coming together. That's all it is. Now, is that government going to tell America what to do? No. But the UN is really the basis for it. They're going to tell you the UN's evil, they're looking to control you. We have worldwide economies now. We have worldwide organizations now. Why shouldn't we have some governing force to govern certain worldwide operations? Why not? Why is that so scary to people? Nobody's going to boss us around. I don't know why people get so terrified. They get terrified of the unknown. And these guys like David Icke and Alex Jones will fill your curiosity hole with an answer. And for many people, since nobody else is talking about it because it's too complex or it's not an issue to begin with, they're going to say, okay, I accept your answer. The scientist, the social psychologist, the anthropologist, the philosopher who is wise is going, people actually believe in this shit? Yes. I'm telling you guys, yes. Would you please speak up for data and evidence? Because large hordes of people in the world are falling for the conspiracy theories. You got to stop just sitting in a corner giggling and speak up. We need people speaking for wise thinking, and we don't have it. We don't have it. My little show's not going to make a difference. If my little show entertains you, I've won. But I can't change the world. I need large groups of people with me, fans of critical thinking, to push that shit like it's a good drug. And it is. Once you start it, you will never go back to a lesser drug once you've learned critical thinking. Stabby says, I had to ask, if you can determine a killer of a crime by studying the crime scene, deflecting, he told me we should study why he committed the crime or how we can change his personality. No, I agree with you, Stabby. We need to first find out who did it, and we do that with evidence. And in America, there is a certain threshold of evidence. If somebody saw him in the area, that does not make him guilty. If somebody saw him leaving the building around the time of the crime, that does not make him guilty. We need more than that. Sometimes a jury can be sold on circumstantial evidence. That's true. And that's what I don't like about American justice right now, is that get the wrong judge on the wrong day or the wrong jury, you get a different outcome. Justice should be universal in its application. And I think we're going to end up going to computer programs soon to determine it, overseen by people. But there's just too much variation. I mean, what do you think is happening when somebody says, I want to change a venue? What do you think is happening when somebody says that judge needs to recuse herself or himself? What they're saying is, I can get a different outcome with a different person for the same motherfucking crime. That's not good. That's not good. Justice should not be like a box of chocolates, okay? You never know what you're going to get. Yeah, I went forest on you, motherfucker, because I had to. But I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. And I also agree with Barco. Please do pick apart my show, because it'll either strengthen it or weaken it. But what it'll do is show fans that listen to the show that we're not bullshitting here. If I say something wrong, we're going to get it right for you. Very quickly, the results of the DoSomething.org article were this: how to handle a bully. Number 1, follow the golden rule. Excuse me. I agree with that. Treat people how you want to be treated. 2, trust your instincts. This is something I haven't sold enough on this show. Kim knows me very well. The rest of you guys, not so much, but you're getting there. Your instinct, in my opinion, is the result of a culmination of data that your brain has bothered to do the work on and give you just a basic feeling. A basic feeling, I shouldn't be here right now, or something's wrong with this picture. I don't trust this person. You may not have any evidence for trusting them, but you feel it in your gut. I say, even though that's not good evidence for coming to a logical decision, trust it. You got to trust it, because I think 7 times out of 10 or more, your instinct's going to be right, and you may not know why. You may not know why. Just trust it. It's going to be wrong a few times, but that's worth it. Unless you have a shitty instinct, sense of, which is your subconscious, in my opinion, doing work for you and producing an output in a very simple emotional drive, I think you got to trust your instinct. And they say here, when they say trust your instincts, they say not all bullying takes the explicit form of name calling on Facebook or locker stuffing in school. Rosalind, a person he was talking to, reminded us that abuse of power is inevitable. So if you sense someone speaking down to you, manipulating you, or embarrassing you, you're probably being bullied. Don't put up with that shit, people. Call me if you're getting bullied. Let me talk to that motherfucker. Better yet, bring him in person. I'll give you my address. Message me. We'll take care of business. Anybody that wants to pick a fight with me, I'll fucking give you my address. Come on over. 3 is set clear personal boundaries. This is a wise thing, and it's something I have overlooked when I talked to you before about how to stand up for yourself. The right thing to do is say, listen, you're in my personal space here. I have a problem with that. I would like you to step back out of my personal space, or something like that. You can do that professionally. Now, the mature person will do this. I don't always do this, because I trust my sense of a person when I first meet them. And if they've stepped into my face and said, I don't want you walking on my side of the street, I get an immediate profile in my head that this person may have been a saint his whole life, but right now he's fucking up, and he's about to find out Kev style. Yeah, I get all fucking freaky. I make the sex face, and I'm not even having sex, but it's all ugly, and I get into it. I look like Rocky Marciano in this bitch. Nose all split down the middle. He's still swinging. You set the clear personal boundaries. There's the intermediate step between cowering down and punching somebody in the face. Set your boundaries. Say, look, this is what you're doing right now that's not going to work for me. I'm asking you to stop doing that. Number 4 is tell the right person. Okay, if you want to go tattletale, it can help you. It can work. In today's workforce and schools, they are rather sensitive about the bullying thing. So that's up to you. That's not my style. That's not my style. I deal with them directly. And number 5 is be confident. You were right to stand up for yourself or someone else. You handled yourself with control and made it clear to the bully that he or she only holds as much power as everyone around allows. You just took the wind out of some bad sails, and for that you made a difference. That's for the person who stands up to a bully. I salute you. And then I'm looking at the comments of this, and I'm going to share it. I want you guys to read this later if you've got time. It's on DoSomething.org. I'm sharing the link. Look at the comments to this. The first 10 or 15 comments are, oh my God, bow out, get away, because people are going, well, my kid's getting bullied. Oh, just go tell somebody. Not till I get down to about the 15th comment do I see somebody say, and I'm going to mention his name as soon as I find it here. Michael Lutz. Thank you, Michael Lutz out of Berkeley. Because he said you should find a way to stand up for yourself when the bullying is going on. You have to be able to act in the moment instead of letting their actions get to you. How many of you people have found yourself bullied in some way and sat there for days, weeks, months, or years after going, this is what I should have done or said? I'm telling you don't. I'm telling you to make a philosophical plan right now that if somebody gets in your face for no reason, you're going to get right back in theirs. It may be scary, but you're going to make your point. And maybe it'll get you hurt. I'm not promising you it won't get you hurt. To some of us, though, that's worth it. That's worth it. It's worth it to me. Maybe it's not worth it to you. I can't blame you for wanting to survive. I just can't live with myself if I don't display courage when courage is called for. I can't. I'm not good with that. So let me share this, and I do encourage you guys to go read it. It's a quick article, very quick article, and read the comments on it, and you'll see what's wrong with America. I may have already shared this, but if so, well, there it is again. Yeah, shit, I already shared it. All right, let me delete that. I'll be back to check what's going on in chat in just a second, but before I do that, we need to talk a little bit about the truth about bullies and how to deal with them. This is from Psychology Today. Usually they are victims before they are offenders. That's true. And these are a few quotes that apply to this. One is, when people don't like themselves very much, they have to make up for it. The classic bully was actually a victim first. And I agree with that. That's Tom Hiddleston. Second one, try to remember this name. Paramhansa Yogananda said, some people try to be tall by cutting off the heads of others. That is a common behavior. Don't let your head get cut off, folks. Stand up for yourself. Defend against that shit. I realize that bullying never has to do with you. It's the bully who's insecure, said Shay Mitchell. And I agree with that as well. This is what they say. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I fully agree with this, but this is what they say. When confronting bullies, be sure to place yourself in a position where you can safely protect yourself, whether it's standing tall on your own, having other people present to witness and support, or keeping a paper trail of the bully's inappropriate behavior. In cases of physical, verbal, or emotional abuse, consult with counseling, legal, law enforcement, or administrative professionals on the matter. It's very important to stand up to bullies, and you don't have to do it alone. I agree with that as well. If you need help on how to stop bullies, click on or go to stopbullyingnow.gov. You don't have to do it alone, folks. I'm not telling you you have to take on everybody that gets in your face alone, but you do have to take them on, or I don't see how you can live with yourself. I couldn't. I just couldn't. So I'm going to share this one as well. It's a quick article. And then we'll get into some freestyle shit and do what y'all want. And do fear porn or something. So that is shared on the Facebook page. For those of you who didn't know, you can go to the Facebook page to check on this stuff. It's on the show announcement for the show you're listening to right now. Will be these links. And the Facebook page is facebook.com/truthontapshow. Don't forget the show. TOTS is an easy way to remember it. Are you too nice? 7 ways to gain appreciation and respect. Now, what I'm going to do is read these to you in quick form. Here's a quick self-assessment, okay? What's going to tell you if you have a problem with this. Number 1, do you have a hard time saying no to others' requests, even when they're unreasonable? Do you often find yourself under appreciation and take it for granted? Do you believe you're being taken advantage of at work or in your personal relationships? Do you let people give you thankless tasks they don't want to do themselves? Do you often go along with what others say and want, even if you feel differently deep down? Do your kindness and self-giving often go unreciprocated? Are you afraid of being rejected if you don't go along with certain people's whims and demands? And then finally, do you take care of others first and yourself last? And they're saying here that if you answered yes to any of those, you could be too nice, at least in certain areas of your life. So we're going to quickly go through how to address this. Number 1 is practice self-respect. Know your individual rights. They say here many researchers, Leftcord, NG, et al., state that having a sense of internal locus of control. I had my psych advisor, who was also my academic advisor. He was a psych professor at first, and I hired him to be my academic advisor. Dr. Lee Dories out of Christian Newport University. The last time I talked to him was about 6 years ago, and he had diabetes real bad, so I'm not even sure if he's still with us. He wrote a paper called Locus of Control, and it was all about control, and it was part of what he researched. That he specialized in that and like anorexia. Those are the things he focused on as far as sub-academic work. But it was very, very informative, and it's about people trying to control you, and they will, and not all of them even know they're doing it. But you have to know the locus of control. A healthy sense of control comes from exercising your right to set your own priorities, say no without feeling guilty, protect yourself from harm, choose healthy relationships, get what you pay for, and create your own happiness in life. Now, I'll be the first to admit, when I'm in a good, positive situation, say a restaurant, eating dinner, and my steak's not done right, I have a problem sending it back. If it's edible at all, I'll eat that steak. Because that's a positive situation. It's a feel-good situation. And if I can at all avoid it, I don't want to fuck it up. Some people say, that's weak, Kevin. Well, I can't blame the server. The chef might have heard things wrong. I started making excuses for him, but the truth is I don't want to mess up a good situation. Now, if it's inedible, I got to do something. But I'm still not going to be a nasty ass. So there are certain areas that I'm weak in when it comes to confrontations. And one of them is when I'm already in a positive situation, I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to bring a dark cloud in over it, because that can fuck up people's nights. But sometimes you do have to, and I have had to. Number 2, change your attitude about having to be nice all the time. Alexander Pope said the difference is too nice. Where ends the virtue or begins the vice? If you're having these negative thoughts, identify them. 1, I'm selfish if I don't help my friends all the time. That's guilt. 2, she won't like me if I don't go along with what she wants. That's fear of rejection or fear of a negative outcome. Self-confirmation. 1, if I allow myself my own time, I can take better care of myself as well as others. And that's true. Number 2, if I treat myself with respect, I will attract more respectful relationships in my life. Like Dr. Phil says, folks, we teach other people how to treat us. You do. You do it usually very quickly when you first meet somebody. But you're telling them your expectations when you talk about your past. And then you show how you reacted to that. Don't let people treat you with disrespect. Me, I don't like confrontation. So typically if I have a friend who's kind of, I just met them, I'm not really sure if I want to be friends, and they go off the deep end, I block them from Facebook and I don't talk to them anymore. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for negativity. Now that's different than somebody getting in your face. That's just saying, you know what? I'm not dealing with you. I don't have to deal with you. I'm not dealing with you. I don't see anything wrong with that. Not in this world. Number 3 is distinguish being kind to people from having to do things for them. You don't have to do anything. Steve Jobs said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Choose your giving wisely. Number 4, don't try to please everyone, and don't try to please any one person all the time. Good point. 5, know how to say no, gently but firmly. That's a hard one. I'm one of those guys that has a problem saying no, but what I do is I ask myself, is there any way I can meet this friend's request? And I try to be creative, and I try to think of a way, and then if I can, I have to say, I can't do that, I'm sorry. Number 6, know that you're not responsible for other people's feelings, and you're not. If someone's in a shitty mood, they do not have permission to take it out on you. Don't let them. Say, look, I don't know what your target is, you might have had a bad day, but I'm not your target. And I've said that to people before. I'm not your target. I'm not the one you want to aim at with this shit. Number 7 is know that for those who take you for granted, less is more. This is a good point. This is a kind of a complicated one. It says the economy runs on the law of supply and demand. The more something is available in abundance, the less value it has. The same rule applies to the economy of human relations. In the presence of ungrateful people, the more you give them, the less they appreciate what you offer. Why should they value you when their taking is so easy and your giving seems so inexhaustible? So you may just need to cut back when you're always doing something for somebody. Cut it back. Start becoming unavailable for the things they need. Just be available here and there. They will appreciate that more. I will also share this link now, and then we're going to get into the chat and just fuck around. Too much serious stuff today. I think you've all found your balls. Everybody grab their balls right now. I want you to give a nice tight squeeze. If you're ladies, grab your titties. It's fine. We'll just call those your balls for now. Give a tight squeeze and say, I am in control of my life and my freedom. Say it out loud. Don't fuck around. I'm serious. Do it the right way. I am in control of my life and my freedom. Squeeze harder. There you go. Yeah. I think Andrew's voice just jumped about 6 octaves. That's all right. That's all right. The ladies, if don't bruise your titties now. There's no sense in that. That's not appreciating yourself. because you're damaging yourself. That's self-defeating behavior. If you squeeze the titties so hard that you've left handprints, then the next guy that sees your titties might say, ooh, I don't know about that. Black and blue titties scare me. They make me think of, some type of porn that you may see on Avatar. I don't like that. Plus, Avatar chicks are huge, so their vaginas are probably 16 feet from end to end. I mean, you could drive a car up in that vagina. That's not exciting. Guys want snug fit, Take that big, tall vagina that I could use for an outdoor garage and carry that thing over to somebody that's got a 60 megaton penis. You'll do fine, but not here. Not here. Yeah, we don't want a big vagina around here. Big, giant, look like a circus tent. Get that thing out of here. I see elephants coming out of it, chimps going into it. Yeah. Look at that vagina. It's the circus vagina. Everybody come into the circus vagina. Dun, 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 dun. What do you mean something smells fishy? No, it doesn't. No, well, we sell fish, is what you're probably smelling. The vendor stands. They smell. They sell. Smell. That was a Freudian slip. They sell mackerel over there. Yeah. What would I know you from Alt? Are you talking? Are you talking about my book, Andrew? If you're talking about the alien in my first book, yeah, I'm not quite the same as him. The one person I'm probably most like in any of my books is Boom. The guy's name, the guy goes by Boom. And that's in Addie's Boom in the Blast Frontier. I put a lot of my personality into that main character, and I usually don't do that because that's not professional. It doesn't take much imagination to just inject yourself into a character. So I don't know what you meant by Alt, but that happens to be the name of the alien in my first book. Oh, I think Alt is a website where they get into the crazy shit, isn't it? Where they tie people up and hit them with fucking baseball bats and they scream with pleasure. I think that's what he's talking about. I'm not into any of that stuff. I'm very boring when it comes to that adult stuff. Very boring. Just one man, one woman, doggy. You're there. There it is. Maybe that's sad. Maybe that's something I should do something about. I don't know. Okay, I already shared that. And the last thing was examples of courage. Examples of courage, moan with pleasure while you're getting hit with a baseball bat. That's hella courageous. Yeah, I don't get into any of that stuff. Never have been. A lot of that stuff when you get into, BDSM or whatever they call it, I think that's what it's called. You are talking about very deep psychological issues that are manifesting themselves in a sexual arena. And half the time, if I were to hear a story like that, I could tell you what happened to who, in that relationship in order to become the way they did. But we are humans, and humans are notoriously hard to figure out. And the female sex of our particular species is impossible to figure out. Yeah, impossible. So you guys want to talk about sex, huh? Okay. Why doesn't everybody in the chat room list your favorite position, list your deepest fantasy, and list who you'd like to most have sex with in the world if you could only have sex with one more person outside of your current relationship? Yeah, let's light this shit up. You want to get into it? We'll get into it. Examples of courage. I have to go share this. Oh, I already did. I'm losing my memory. My short-term memory's going, man. Yes, it is. My ex was into it, me not so much. Favorite position, rooster fuck. What is a rooster fuck? I guess that's just doggy style with flapping feathers. Barco says, Valerie, did you defriend me on Facebook because of something a fake Barco said in News Guys chat? I wasn't in News Guys chat. I have trolls who follow me around creating fake accounts talking shite. Barco, I may or may not have viewed that chat, and I may or may not have seen somebody ask, if you could lick your own vagina, would you do it? Now, if someone was pretending to be you, you may end up paying a price for that. I would find out who it is impersonating you and go after the source. I don't care if I get impersonated. You people in the chat room, don't believe that just because you see a name, that's the person. Come on now. You don't know. Get to know that person, and then you'll know what's out of character for them. Everything. Learn their spelling, their normal grammar choices. Learn how, if they hyphenate, if they use commas, punctuation, if they tend to use long sentences or short sentences. Now, you can learn that very quickly about somebody. And you get into something like a Spreaker chat room, you don't know who you're listening to. You know, it takes me a while to figure out if I think I'm dealing with the real person. Barco said that's Pimp Hat. Oh, okay. The rooster fuck is doggy with the guy's foot on the chick's head. Jesus Christ. That's fucking weird. That's weird, Kim. I gotta tell you that. Doggy, fantasy, get really rough. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, you know, okay, well, we all have our fantasies, I guess. The rough thing is, you have to understand what the rough thing is, in my opinion. The rough thing is domination, and that makes somebody feel very powerful. So instead of just having a nice smile and romance, and I'm going nice and soft and gentle, well, it's general too, I guess. You know, you become, I don't know, Stone Cold Steve Austin in the sex arena, and you just boss shit. Now, I've heard that some women like this. They are basically reacting to the strength of the male and appreciating it. You know, I can understand it, but I think that if a man enjoys it and a woman enjoys it, and yet they're not illustrating the fact that he likes to feel power and she likes to feel submissive or otherwise appreciates his power in real life, why are they doing it? Why do you wait until the sex to do it? Why don't you behave that way all the time? That's the question that I would have about that. Why just limit it to your sex lives where the real you can come out and not do it in real life? If you're a dominant type person, be dominant. Be yourself. You know, who was it that said, Henry Kissinger said something like, you are you, and that is that. That is the beginning, and that is the end. No apologies, no regrets. You're going to live a happier life, I guarantee you. I bet my life on it. If you go ahead and be who you are. If you've got parts of yourself that you're hiding because you're afraid they won't be accepted, it's time to either change those parts to become non-existent or let them into your life. And be who you are. You should never have to feel like you're not being you. Ever. There's no reason for that. People may not like the real you. That's true. But that's a risk you need to take if you want to find peace and happiness in life. Be who you are. Kim says, yeah, I get tired of being dominant. The responsible one feels good to have to be for a while. I guess switching roles is pretty popular in American bedrooms today. Sock puppets have a few to 0 followers. Good point, Barco. Yeah, click the name and check their followers. That's a good point. Yeah, I forgot that's a way you can check up on Spreaker people. I'm not really a Spreaker expert yet. I still haven't gotten into the community much. I tend to, Kim can tell you, I live in my little corner here and just do my little thing. You know, that debate debacle a week or so ago got me a lot of new followers and listeners. And they'll disappear too, because if they came on as a result of the drama in that debate, then they're going to walk off when that drama disappears, and that drama's gone. I'm not doing that anymore. So I would hate to have brought somebody in using something that I'm not going to use again. And there's going to be no drama in this show. So if you're after that, you probably don't want to follow this show. Yeah, well, no, I am fairly well endowed. I'm 6'5", which doesn't mean anything. I mean, Howard Stern, I think, is 6'5", and he said he's hung like a cricket. So height doesn't really mean anything, but I'm all right. I do well. I'm average. If you have a small one, you just need to go find a small female, or maybe somebody that likes anal, because A guy wants the tightness, and if you can't find the tightness anywhere because your thing's too small, you can get a surgery for it, or you can just find a smaller girl, you know. Or find somebody that likes to use their hand a lot. You know, guys need girls. A lot of women don't understand this, but it's not just about the consistency of the friction when it comes to just feeling good. It is about the pressure. There's a perfect amount of pressure you can apply that's going to feel good to us. Too much, I'm feeling pain now. Too little, I'm not really feeling the groove. But you hit it just right, and the process is going to start. The process is going to start. The gates are going to open. The floodgates are coming open. And I'm sure it's the same with women. I mean, that's been my experience. You know, when you're petting the man in the boat, you don't want to rub skin off of his forehead, but you want him to know you're there. And, you know, and I don't know about the G-spot. I think the G-spot is physically there, but I don't think it does what people popularly think it does. I think for some women it doesn't matter. That's not where they're feeling it. They're feeling it on the outside mostly, and the first inch in. And that's where you got to put your attention. Or maybe on the taint. Yeah, the taint. Taint, no problem at all. The thing about anal to me is, in my opinion, and I'm not even going to act like I've done it. I'm just, because that's too much information. I'm just going to say, based on what I've heard, that's a good way to put it, it's like fucking a balloon. You know, the first half inch is tight, and then you're in there dangling. You know, it's like a waiting room, and there's not even a secretary there. I don't know. I don't feel, it's just a big room in here. I'm the head, but I'm in a big room and nothing's touching me. The walls aren't touching me. The floor's not touching me. I need to go back to the door where I had to squeeze in and just hang out there. Yeah, that's the part. Now, the thing I think about anal that draws a lot of people in is the taboo nature of it. Ooh, that's naughty. That's a naughty thing. I can't imagine why somebody would like it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I had someone in my past play with that area and that she thought it would feel good. And I'm not going to tell you that I said, it feels like I'm taking a shit. I don't really enjoy this. Sorry. I'm not going to tell you that, because I can't guarantee you that's true. But it seems like something I might have said if that situation had ever presented itself. That's all I'm going to say about that. How about threesomes, guys? Foursomes, fivesomes? You into that kind of stuff, or you just one-on-one? I don't know. I don't feel at liberty to talk about that right now. I'll just put it that way. I think you have to be comfortable with yourself and your body and your partner/partners before you can really, really enjoy yourself the way nature intended you to. Valerie says one-on-one. Kim says MMF is good. If you're really big, sorry, too much info. I don't know what that means. I got a G-spot the size of a 50-cent piece, Kim said. That's not a G-spot. That's like a G-H-I-J-K spot. All them letters in there. Yeah, you have to know your body. Women they tend to be focused, I think, too much earlier in life on pleasing the man, and only, hit 30 years old, they start realizing what pleases them. I think women should focus on themselves, because men want to please women. So if you come out and you kind of keep it classy, but you tell your man what you want, you're going to get it. And help him refine that, because the more he can make you moan, I guarantee you, the happier he is. MFFF is minimum. Odd numbers don't work. I don't blame you, Barco. You like 4, 6, or 8. That's cool. That's cool. I can't say that I've ever had that experience you're talking about right there with the 3 Fs. I will leave it at that. Any more than 3 and there is a finger in question, says Andrew. Yeah. 3's not a crowd, but 4's a fucking circus. Talking about sex, and why not? I mean, the topic of the show is, where are your balls? Courage in 2014. It takes courage to talk about sex. It takes courage to be involved in sex and tell people what you want when you're involved in a situation like that. Yeah. What do you want? What do you want to get out of it? You guys like loud partners or quiet partners? I personally feel like when things are quiet, there's a certain element of secrecy to it, and it feels it's got the naughty factor for me. So I kind of prefer quiet. Well, that's me. You know, feels like something you could get away with in a Walmart in one of those little clothing displays that has the hollow center, like a circle of shirts hanging. Yeah, if you're quiet, you could get away with it in there. And I'm not even saying that's exciting. I at this age, I'll just say this: at this age, I wouldn't find it exciting to do anything in public. You know, oh no, we might get caught. Okay. I do not use duct tape, man. I use super glue, but not duct tape. That's wrong. Why would I use duct tape on somebody? That would hurt coming off. Yeah, well, Stabby, I'm sorry, but I sold out. I got off of my main topic and went to sex because it sells. I'm admitting that up front, and I just want you guys to have a fun sexual chat circus in here. That's all. Yeah, light it up. Look at that. Plucky pedo hunter in there. He would have never shown up to my chat if we weren't talking about sex. I don't know about that. You guys want to see something cool? Watch this. Keep your eyes on chat. Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin. I'm talking about you. You fucking Russian cockhead. I'm talking about you, Vladimir. You'll see. He'll show up. He's got networks everywhere. He knows when someone mentions his name. Yep. He'll be there. Now, I don't know if he'll talk about sex. He'll probably talk about sex with a grizzly bear or something like that. How he proved his manhood fucking a giraffe. But I don't think he's going to talk about sex in an informative way, in a mature way like we are. Wow. Well, whoever this plucky pedo hunter is in there, there's quite a confrontational environment suddenly between him and Stabby, or her and Stabby. I don't know. I can't tell from the name if that's male or female. That's oh, I see the picture. That's of the dude that catches the pedophiles on that show. You guys know who I'm talking about. He's waiting in there when they show up. If they met like a 15-year-old on the internet and they show up, then he's waiting there at the kitchen table. Can't remember his name. I think it's well, you guys will know. I'll check chat in a minute. Have we met before? No, you haven't met me before. Not if you're that reporter. No, you haven't. KK knows the details all too well. I don't know what that means, man. I'll keep an eye on the chat, though. We're only going to be here probably another 15 or 20 minutes, so Plucky Pedo Hunter, get your story out and hurry up. And then I'll put on some music, and then I'll try to find you guys another show we can go to, because as you know, 2 hours is my limit, and we are at 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I will go ahead and try to find another show we can all go to, and I'll go with you, and we'll get in the chat room, fuck around. Let's see here. Let's see who's live right now. It's hard to find something everybody likes, because some of you guys really hate the people I find, and some of you like them, and I don't know. That's why I ask Apocalypse to do it. He's good at finding a show to go to that everybody can agree on. So let's see. Spreaker live shows. Show me the live shows, bitches. You ever wish it was 1920 again? Everybody talked the same. The guys didn't put up with shit. They'd rat-a-tat-tat. Shoot your ass in the ass. Ass. Grandpa Al. Paul Dembski. Paul Dembski's making an appearance again. I thought he was ducking out. So let's see. What's live here? Give me Explore. My show's gone from the Explore page. It was featured star on stage. I have my 15 minutes. Oh well. That's alright. Live now. Now when you go to Live Now on Spreaker, be careful, because you have a lot of 24/7 shows up there and they're just spinning discs. It's not very entertaining. But some of them are talk. Let me see if I recognize anybody that's got a show on right now. And I don't know everybody, so that's not really... Storm FM, I've seen him on Spreaker Gods. The Gypsy Zone. I see a lot of foreign ones. Sparks Radio. I've seen that one on a lot. ACR Network. Night Jams with SansNet Radio. I think Apocalypse has shared that before, so that might be a good one. Scrubs Radio. Empowerment, Prayer, Miracles. I generally avoid any type of religious stuff. I've heard it all. I don't want to hear the arguments anymore until there's proof. I just don't want to hear it. That's just me. If religion's working for you, more power to you. I'll take you to church. I'll drive your ass there. A lot of foreign shows here. Anybody got any ideas on shows we can go to since I can't talk anymore? And I don't want to play subpar music. Oh, I've heard of this one, TFOK Radio, which is, like what the fuck. Thursday Night Lube. I can't see, it's LUB something. I'll share this link. I don't know much about these people, so don't be holding me responsible if you don't like this show. But it does have a lot of likes already. TFOK Radio, TFOK. There you go. So there's a show, I just put it in the chat room, you guys. Thursday Night Lube Job, Family Tradition. If you're listening right now and you're not participating in chat, you can still look it up on Spreaker. Just look up Lube Job, and it should pop up in your search. Where is Dembski? He's been laying low ever since he went nuts on Debbie Daly. He hates her now. It seemed like he liked her. All I can tell you is it seemed like he liked her, and then something changed instantly because he became livid with her over something. And he's been laying low. And I don't know. Apocalypse could tell you where Paul Dembski is. I just don't know. Ain't no way Kev did that unless he was holding the camera. Kev did what? When I walked in, KAK was at the table. He jumped up, dropped his pants, and shouted, "Cool, MMF three-way." Yeah, right. That's not my style. So it the porn. Foreign shows are the best. I think she means so is the porn. Are you guys going to go to this show that I listed? I'll follow you over there if you are. If not, tell me who's got a show that you like, and I'll go over to theirs things with you, and we'll have fun and chat. And in about 8 minutes here, I'm closing this one. Act 2 to follow, yawn. And you guys got me thinking about sex. That's messed up, because I wasn't thinking about sex. But I know where my balls are. And sometimes they get that special tingle. Yeah, you know the one. Come on now. Yeah, you get the little tingle, and you all of a sudden you've got a heat-seeking missile on your hands. You're looking to land that bitch bunker buster style in something, and you end up getting drunk and fucking a cow. That is not entirely unheard of, especially in Ireland. The whole point is, I wasn't even thinking about this, and now you motherfuckers started talking about sex, and I have that. How do you do that, Kevin? Follow to another shows? I don't know. Apocalypse usually lists like another show that's going on, and then I go participate in the chat and listen to that show with people so we can continue our little evening together. But he's not here. And I don't know what a good show is. Like, that's why I was asking other people, because Kim, most of these people you see in this chat room have their own shows, so they know. Most of them know more than me about the other host and who has a good show and stuff like that. But I just found this one because I've heard of them before. TFOK. Plus, they had a bunch of likes on this show, so I figured, well, they've got some following already. I don't know how good they are. So I'm going to go to that show unless you guys have a better thing. If you do, why would I ban Apocalypse? I like Apocalypse. We don't get along on much politically, but I like his honesty, and he hugs people. How can you not like a guy that hugs people and isn't gay? I'm sorry, I like him. He's cool. There he is. There's Apocalypse. I knew he would show up. He's like Vladimir Putin. You say his name, he's in there. Sorry Late was eating Barrow's pizza and making racist comments at the locals around here. See? He knows I don't like racists, so he fucks with me. Apocalypse, what show should we go to? I listed this show from TFOK, and I don't even know if it's a good show. I am into this thing, though. When I finish a show, I used to say, hey, bye, you fuckers. But now I'm like, I can still type. You know, I can't talk anymore. My voice is gone. But I can still type. Let's go to another show. Have some fun with it. Plus, it's a way to show support for my fellow host. I want all of you guys. If you're extreme racist or sexist, or you're just mean, I don't want you to do well. But everybody else, I want your show to do well. There's enough room in radio for everybody. So, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Spreaker is Right. Pizza farts. APOC hugs so he can pick pockets and steal wallets. Is that why he does that? APOC, you bastard. That's how you afford that pizza. I get it now. Arizona people are special. I like Arizona. I've never met a person from Arizona I didn't like. And I can pick out people from Texas, California, and New York. Sure can. And usually Pennsylvania. And I like most of them, but I just don't like attitudes. Saying that you were born in one place, then that makes you better, or implying it, I don't like that. Apocalypse, you don't see another show that we can all go to? Because otherwise everybody's going to end up at this one TFOK that I shared. Apocalypse, for those of you that don't know, does have his own show, usually broadcast from his mother's basement, and he's done about 6 of those episodes so far. And he is considered the most loved personality on Spreaker. He's also considered the ambassador of Spreaker. So if you want your show to work at all, you got to get to know Apocalypse. Yeah, you got to get to know him, see? He's a guy over there, he's on 42nd and 3rd, and he's like, hey, motherfucking, you know, I'll fucking pop a cab, break his legs up, give him a little money, I'm a Spreaker shark, see? It's not a loan shark, so to speak, but I know people. Hey, you ever need anything? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm Apocalypse, I'll get you what you need. After I have my pizza. Mario, bring me some more of this pizza. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I walk around and punch random people, but then I put a couple bucks in their wallet. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Have you ever had the urge, guys, before we go? You're sitting there talking to somebody and you actually think about just punching them? I read an article about these people that had a very specific thing that was scaring them. They'd be standing at work in a circle talking to people, holding their coffee. And they had considered throwing the coffee in somebody's face. And they were terrified of this thought. They didn't know where it was coming from. They thought it might be demon possession. I think human beings are immensely complex. And that this is a tree you have to keep hacking at if you want to understand it. It would not surprise me if you're standing in a circle of people and someone just punches you. There's the broken manimal right there. There's the broken manimal. There was no purpose in that. There was nothing to gain from that. You can only lose from that. I mean, if you take his wallet and have a night on the town, great, you won short term. But now you got to go to jail for assault. So it doesn't pay off in the long run. Okay, Kim says, I have thrown my drink in many faces. That's a waste of good alcohol. Okay, guys, I'm getting ready to play one song and then get the fuck up out of here. So I guess I'm going to go over to that T-Fox show since Apocalypse is not doing his job of finding a bridge show for us. So I'm going to line up the song, line up a quick commercial for those of you that may have just joined us. I'll tell you how to follow the show in the future. And after that, I'm gonna chat with you a little bit in the chat room to see where everybody's going for sure. And then after that, you're gonna hear one song. Let's see, what's a good one? I played Bad Ace, and I owe them plays. Bad Ace is a local group. You can find them at badace.com, just like it sounds. My friend Todd Jenkins is a drummer in Bad Ace. If you need any HVAC work anywhere in southeastern Virginia, get in touch with Western Shore Inc. You find him at westernshoreinc.com. I built the website. Todd's a good guy. He'll do you right. Kim can tell you she is a customer. How about Grape? She never seen... No, I'm sorry. We're supposed to do Bad Ace. Let's do Matchbox. So let me pull that up. And yeah, that'll come after the quick commercial. But before that, I think maybe we should make a couple of phone calls. What do you guys think? You want to call Dr. Lecter? Let me see if Dr. Lecter can advise a good radio station to go to. Let me call him up here. There you go. Yes, Dr. Lecter? Are you there?
Have the lamb stopped screaming? Don't bother with the trace. I won't be on long enough. I have no plans to call on you. The world's more interesting with you in it. So you take care now to extend me the same courtesy. I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
Oh, hello there, children.
Hey, Chef. Chef, you know where shit comes from?
From your ass, children. Surprise, motherfucker.
Thank you for calling Learn Japanese in 20 seconds a day. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Kujo ga arimasu. Watakushi wa ayatsuri ningyo ga kirae desu. Doki ga shimasu.
To sign up for tomorrow's lesson, please leave your name and number after the beep. Sayonara.
We're sorry we're not home. The stars will always shine, the phone will always ring. Although we're not at home, we thank you for calling. To leave a message after the show, and we'll get back to you as soon as we get home. Yeah. No, we're not at home, so please leave a message.
Hello, Heaven here, God speaking. Look, if you leave your name, number and prayer after the tone, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please note that I try to answer all prayers in strict rotation, but sometimes the answer is no.
Sometimes the answer is no. And since that is that, here goes this.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Ladies and gents, this is Kevin Kierstead, host of Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap. I hope you're enjoying the show. Truth on Tap is focused on bringing you absolute truth about everything from mainstream media to comedy, from psychology to the paranormal. This show keeps it real, not the fake kind of real, the real kind of real. That same spirit also covers our Caps on Tap show about the Washington Capitals. Caps on Tap shows air only after Capitals wins at this time. Please come like our Facebook page and join the conversation at facebook.com/TruthOnTapShow. Truth on Tap has been picked up and promoted by iHeartRadio, the internet audio mega monster, so shows are available there as well as on Spreaker and a limited selection on iTunes. To get in on a show's chat, you can chat from the Facebook page I mentioned or go to www.spreaker.com/user/TruthOnTap and look for the live episode or call in at 910-NO-LYING. That's 910-665-9464. Thanks again for checking out Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap.
To the question that you asked me some years ago, do you ever think you're gonna find your freedom on a matchbox floor? I'm telling you now, it's been lonely, it's been cold, I've been selling, I've been sold, but they never did break my love. It's been a long, long ride. It was never so easy to be caught up in the rain with a pocket full of shame. No prescription for the pain, your connection's down again. Sooner or later your eyes go blind, you come back down for a friend to find, but they all left you behind. There ain't no profit for pride on the east side. No, 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 no. And the dogs will leave you for dead on the county line. walk another line, but you better take your time. Oh, the creatures sure to lead you back to shadows where the thieves will steal your dreams. And the preachers will show you, then pretend they don't know you. And the stranger will stone you and politely condone you. Yeah, but ain't that life? There ain't no profit for pride on the east side. No, 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 no. And the dogs will leave you for dead on the county line. And you hide all your dreams in a matchbox on the floor. Oh no. And you're playing the God to a loaded 44. Now I've got an answer to the question that you asked me some years ago. If I could only get you up again from the matchbox floor.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.